Hello all, how are you? I hope you are all well. Isn't it amazing that we often use a lot of things in life without knowing where they come from or how they're made? One of those things is soap. Today, we are going to visit a soap factory to see how they make organic soap in a traditional way. To see who went to a traditional soap factory as well, follow us in the episode. Hi again! Did you like the video? I didn't know that they boiled the mixture of soap for 3 days. Did you? In this video, our friends Rose, Kate, and Maher visit a soap factory. When, where, and what happened? Let's watch the video to figure out.
What was in the box? One day, Miss Zahra came to class with exciting news. She was going to take the students on a trip this Thursday. It would be a field trip to a soap factory. Rose, Kate, Maher, and all the other students in class cheered excitedly. Miss Zahra explained that the factory they were going to visit produces organic soap in the old traditional way. This means that they make the soap manually and with natural ingredients. She said that it was important to visit such factories and learn how to preserve our culture and traditions. It was Thursday morning. The bus finally arrived. The students stormed outside like the wind. They ran as fast as they could, although Ms. Zahra had requested that they walk slowly and board the bus carefully. The floor was wet and she didn't want them to slip and fall. Luckily, they all got on the bus safely. When they arrived at the factory, Ms. Zahra warned them sternly to behave well. This was no place to slip and fall. It is full of soap, and you know how slippery that can be. This time, the children listened to her and behaved responsibly. There was a man waiting for them. He introduced himself as their tour guide. First, he took them to a room where they watched how organic soap was made, what ingredients were needed, and how they mixed the ingredients, put the mixture in molds, and left the soap bars to cool and dry. That was it. To the students' surprise, the factory was much smaller than they thought. The tour guide explained that since the soap was organic, they produced it in small quantities. That's why the factory was small. But then he took them to another hall where they all sat and created their own bars of soap. It was a special hall for guests. The mixture was already made, ready for them. They just had to pick the fragrance and the color, to put them in a mold, and to wait for them to dry. The tour guide said that the bars of soap would not dry fast. The drying process takes a long time. But he promised the students that their own bars of soap would be delivered to them at their school in a week's time. The students were a bit upset and suspicious, but they had to go back. They had no choice. A week later, Ms. Zahra entered the class with a big box in her hands. A wave of excitement swept through the class. What was in the box?
So let's review the text together. Choose the characters that are mentioned in the story. If the answers are correct, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Let's start. Is Mr. Shakib a character in the story? No, he isn't. Is Ms. Zahra in the story? Yes, she is. What about Rose? Yes. Was Osama in the story? No, he wasn't. What about Kate? Yes, she was. What about Maher? Yes. And did we have a tour guide in our text? Yes, we did. Did you guess the answers correctly? If yes, Give yourselves a big round of applause. Do you remember what the setting of the story is? Let's check the setting of this story. Is the setting on Thursday, at the soap factory, at school, or on Thursday, at school, and at the soap factory? Now, the first three questions are false, not because the answers are not correct, but because they give part of the correct answer, either the time on Thursday or just the place at the soap factory or at school. Remember that a setting is both time and place, so we have to mention both the day and the place. This means that the correct answer is D, on Thursday, at school, and at the soap factory. Now let's check this question. Why did Miss Zahra take the students to a traditional soap factory? She took them because the students were bored. She took them because she thought it was important to preserve traditions. Or she took them because she believed it would be fun. The correct answer is she took them because she thought it was important to preserve traditions. But what does preserve mean? Preserve is a difficult word. Does it mean keep, stay, or create? The correct answer is A. So preserve means keep. Let's look at another word. Miss Zahra explained that the factory they were going to visit produces organic soap in the old traditional way. What is the meaning of produces? Does it mean makes, moves, or mixes? And the correct answer is A. Produces means makes. Aren't these interesting words? Isn't it nice to learn new words? Right now, we'll learn something new. Let's look at these words that are found in the text. Excitedly, manually, slowly, carefully, luckily, sternly, and responsibly. Are you looking at these words carefully? How do they end? Yes, they all end with "ly." "Ly" is a suffix. Suffixes like "ly" change word forms. For example, they change adjectives which describe nouns to adverbs which describe verbs or actions. We say, the children are excited. Who is excited? The children. So excited describes the noun children. Whereas we say, the children cheered excitedly. Here, we don't ask who. We ask, what did the children do excitedly? They cheered. So, an adverb modifies the verb. You can also tell it from its name. Adverb. Now, let's look at these adverbs one more time. Can you see that some words have double L's and others have just one? Why do you think that is? Well, it's easy. Those words that end with L and are added "ly" end up with having two L's. For instance, let's look at these words. Manually, finally, and carefully. Let's look at these words one by one. The word manual means by hand. It ends with an L. When we add "ly", it gets two L's. The same with the word finally. It ends with an L. When we add "ly", we get two L's. Now, the word carefully is a bit different. Do you know why? Because it has two suffixes. Let's examine the word all together. Care, full, and "ly". Looks like "ly" is not the only suffix. Full is a suffix too. With the L in the full and the L in "ly", the word carefully is written with double L. Well, friends, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make organic traditional soap, new words, and adverbs and suffixes. I'll see you next time. Until then, be good and stay safe. Bye.
لمشاهدة المزيد من الحلقات زوروا سات 7 بلس.